All right, well, good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another exciting day in mathematics. Whoop, whoop. So you should have your study guide. Get that in front of you. Also get a blank sheet of paper in front of you. Morning, Marley. Once again, your study guide and a blank sheet of paper. There's blank sheets of paper over there on my desk, so go grab one. And study guide's right here inside this bag right here. Grab one. All right, everybody logged in? Here we go. No time to spare. I just want to get us started right away. And write down this code, please, so that you have access to the entire study guide electronically. XQPSE. XQPSE. Bless you. XQPSE. So, shall we? Here we go. Number one, write the standard equation of a circle with center -3, -4, and radius 6. So for number one, refresher. Remind your neighbor, what was the standard form equation of a circle? See if they remember. Standard form equation. All right, very good. Good communication. It's x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals 2r squared. Now, exactly what I'm showing you on the screen, this is exactly what I want to see on the pop parte. On the final. Yeah, we'll get there. Give me a second. Now, I want to see you write the form, and I want to see the substitution. Now, two things with that. Look up, please. The first one is you need this to guide yourself. So this is going to help you guide yourself to substitute values. But the second part is that I do want to see your work. I do want to see that you know the stuff. Now some of you are like, Mr. Q, I can do this in my head. I don't care. I want to see the stuff. So with that said, look up. After you write this down, look at the center, and you're going to label this H and K. And of course, the radius is already 6. You already have that label. This is our R. And all we have to do is substitute. You bring the -3, substitute in here, -3. And the -4 substitutes over here, -4. And then the R, which is 6, substitutes right there. Then you bring everything else down. Parentheses, X, look up. This minus, don't forget it, the squared plus y minus squared equals squared. And lastly, we simplify. X, negative times a negative is a positive. Y, negative times a negative is a positive 4. And what is 6 squared? 36. Once you have your work, check out the options. Let's see, x plus 3, x plus 4. X plus 3, y plus 4. It's not this one, not that one, not this one. The only possible is C. Does everybody see what we did? Let's go. Yeah, we got it, right? All right. Is it coming back? Yes? All right, let's do another one on the circle. Here we go. Another one on the circle. Number 2. This is also a circle, but at the end we need to end up, look up, we need to end up with something that looks like this in standard form. So, check this one out. So the first things first, let's write out the equation. X squared plus y squared plus 2x minus 10y plus 10 equal to 0. Now the process we already know. I gave you plenty of practice when we went through this, and I also gave you about 2 to 3 weeks on the warm-up. So the first thing to do is to get rid of the number without any variable, which is what? The 10. It's a constant. So the inverse is minus 10 minus 10. Now notice I did skip the dividing by 1 because the leading coefficient would have been 1 here, but since we don't have a number, we don't divide by that. So I go straight to that. Now check this out. I'm going to group the x's together. So I write x squared plus 2x in parentheses and leave a space, plus, now the y's, the y squared and the negative 10y. Y squared, negative 10y, empty space, and at the end you bring the equal sign and the minus 10 down. Now here your noodle should be able to kick in here, but if it doesn't, remind your neighbor how to complete the square here. What do we need to add here? What do we need to add there? Yeah, this one divided by 2. So 2 divided by 2 squared. We do that to every side. 2 divided by 2 squared. How about here? What do we need to add to this one? Yeah, the negative 10. Negative 10 divided by 2 squared. Add negative 10 divided by 2 squared. So, with that said, what do we end up with here? We got x squared plus 2x plus 2 divided by 2 is 1. What is 1 squared? 1. Plus y squared minus 10y. What is negative 10 divided by 2? Negative 5. What is negative 5 squared? 25. All that equal to negative 10. This one was 1, and this one was 25. Next, let's simplify this side. So, what is 25 plus 1? 26. All right, good. Minus 10, 16. All right. However, at this point, I'm going to factor these to save a step. Here we go. Look up. Remember the shortcut? Square root of the first, square root of the last, sine of the middle, squared. From there, bring the plus down. Let's do the same to the second one. Square root of the first term, square root of the last, sine of the middle, squared. And this is our standard form. Standard form. Now, do they give us any of those options? Let's see. Oh, they're asking, what is the center and radius? So let's see. From here, remember what we would do from here? I would say, find the center and the radius. Tell your neighbor what you did to find the radius and what you did to find the center. What is the center? So, look up. H, we know it's this one. As long as this is the negative, you just use the number. There it is. However, this one is not a negative. Tell your neighbor what to write for this one. Yeah, -1. That is correct. And for the radius, everyone, what do we do to the 16? Square root of 16, which is 4. So, center -1, 5, radius 4. Which one is the answer? -1, 5, and 4. Answer is D. Letter D. Ooh-wee. Is it coming back? Yes? Look how beautiful that looks. All right. Let me send you a screen so you can send me this work. I want to see that you're taking copious notes. Number 3 reads, write an equation in standard form for the parabola with focus 0, 4 and directrix y equals -4. Now when you get to these, let me do a little side step. On your paper, I want you to write parabolas. Parabolas. We have vertical and we have horizontal. Now vertical look like this. And what else do we need? We need a directrix, which is a line right below it, like so. Horizontal is like this. And we need a directrix, which is vertical. Now, how do we know which one is which, Mr. Q? Well, what kind of line is this? It's a horizontal line, so this is going through the y value, so this should be y equals to a number. Is that correct? So that means this one is x equals to a number. Now, look up guys, which parabola are we most used to graphing? This one, is that correct? And this one we usually use what? X squared, is that correct? So let's see if you remember the equation. The standard form equation for a vertical parabola is x squared equals 4py. The horizontal one, instead of being x squared, this one is y squared equals 4px. Now, Mr. Q, how do we know which one to use if they don't give us the graph? Well, we always look at, what do we look at, guys? The value of the directrix. If it's a y equals, that means that the line is a horizontal, that means it's a vertical parabola, we use the x squared. If it's a vertical one, that means the parabola is sideways, that means it's x equals for this line, that means we use the y squared. Okay? So, and just to recap, look up, guys, what values did we need for graphing? We need a vertex, a v. We need a d for a directrix point. And then one more point, which is here. Let's see if you remember. Tell you remember, what is that point called? What is this point called? See if you remember. It starts with an F. Focus. That is correct. Focus, vertex, and directrix point. Those are the 3 points that we use. Same thing over here. This is our D, this is our V, and we need a focus. So with that said, let's look at the information that they give us. They say, write an equation in standard form of a parabola with focus 0, 4, and directrix y equals -4. So where do we look first, everyone? At the directrix. So what kind of line is that? Y equals -4. It's like this, is that correct? Which means we're going to use the equation, write it down, x squared equals 4py. So far so good, yes? However, we need to rewrite this according to the focus. Look up, guys. What is the focus? 0, 4, and we use the value other than 0 for what? For the p. So, bring everything else down. X squared equals 4 parentheses y. And we're going to substitute 4. And it comes from the focus. Draw an arrow so you can remember. The number other than 0 goes here for p. So let's simplify. X squared equals 16y. Now, look at what we end up with, and look at the samples that they give us. They give us x by itself or y by itself. In this case, which one would be easier to solve for on this? The x or the y? The y, that is correct. So here you would do what? Divide by 16, divide by 16, and we're left with, let me go over here, x squared over 16 equals y. Or if I if I move this one to the side, I end up with 16 to the x squared equals y. What goes on top? A 1. So which is our answer? The answer is C. That is correct. Woo-wee. Oh yeah, we got this. And once again, process. We look at the directrix first. From there, we saw that it was a line like this, so we used x squared. So if this was an x equals, that means we would use the y squared instead. All right? Number 4, very similar. Look up. Write the equation in standard form for the parabola with vertex 0, 0, directrix y equals -6. Now, this was a tricky one. I kind of like threw a little curveball, see if you caught it. Look at the previous one. What did they give us on the previous one? They gave us the what? The focus, because we need it to substitute for P, right? Should they give us the focus on this one? No, but we can find it. Here it goes. Hold on. First, let's go to the directrix. Y equals -6, so it's going to look like this. Is that correct? Are we there so far? All right, so watch. Here's the directrix at -6. Let me sketch this like so. Here's my coordinate plane. This is x, this is y, and the directrix is at what? -6. What is the vertex? The vertex is at 0, 0. Label that really quick. 0, 0. Now let's see if you remember. We need a focus. Let me change this one to blue, or that's fine, you can leave it like that. This is our focus. Tell your neighbor what you remember about the focus and the directrix from the vertex. Talk to your neighbor. What do you remember? That it's what? The same distance, is that correct? So let's see. What is the distance from here to here? 6. That means the distance from here to here is 6. So why do I mention that? Well, because we need a focus. Tell your neighbor what the coordinate of that focus is. That is correct. 0, 6. So now we have our focus, we have our directrix, and now let's see. Tell your neighbor what equation to write if our directrix is y equals -6. Yes, x squared equals 4py. Remind your neighbor what you're going to substitute in here for p. What do we substitute for p? 6, Mr. Q. All right, good, 6. And we get that from the focus. So bring everything else down. We end up with x squared equals 24y. And again, look, we end up with this, but here they gave us yx, y or x. What can we solve for on this one? For what? Yes, for y. Divide by 24, divide by 24. We end up with, let me move over here so you guys can see, x squared over 24 equals y. Move the x squared to the side, so we end up with 24 x squared equals y, and what goes on top? 1. So, correct answer is y. Correct answer is A. A little bit more lengthy, but very doable. I'm going to send you the screenshot. You can send me your notes for this one. And once again, reminder, this session is being recorded. I'm going to upload this on the YouTube channel. So starting today, Put a little asterisk on the problems that you need to go over more than once, and go watch the video. Muscle memory, people. Bah. All right, here we go. Number 5. It says, solve the system formed by the equations y equals 4x plus 4 and y equals x squared plus 7x plus 6. When you get to this one, once again, I want to see work. So the first thing it says, a system. So I want to see this. Bracket. My first equation is y equals 4x plus 4. And then y equals x squared plus 7x plus 6. Now let me pause the music one more time. Now, why do I need it like this? Because it's muscle memory. This is what we did in class. As soon as you get there like this, it's going to start the process in your noodle to remember. You're like, I think I remember, Mr. Q. Yes. Look at it. How do we solve this? We can solve it by graphing, or the other one that we practice a lot known as substitution. So put a little asterisk over here and just write substitution. Substitution. So, look up. We need to substitute one equation into the other equation. So, question. For the first one, it says that y is equal to what? 4x plus 4. Which means on the second equation, instead of y, what do we write there? Yeah, 4x plus 4. Bring everything else down. The equal, the x squared plus 7x plus 6. All right? So, and the rest, here we go. To remind you, we have a quadratic equation. That means in order to solve it, it needs to be equal to what? 0. That is correct. Which means leave this over here. We need to get rid of all of this. So we subtract 4x, subtract 4 to each side. Subtract 4x, subtract 4. 0 equals x squared plus 7x minus 4x is 3x. 6 minus 4 is 2. And from here on is all muscle memory. Watch. Say never what you shall do at this step. Yeah. We got 2. We got 3. What factors of 2 add up to 3? 2 and 1 or 1 and 2. I'm going to put 1 and 2. So my factors are x plus 1, x plus 2, and all that equal to 0. From there, what do we do next? Look at it. This times that equal to 0. So what do we do next? Our next step. Set each one equal to 0. X plus 1 equal to 0. X plus 2 equal to 0. And we solve. Here we go. Minus 1 minus 1. X equals negative 1. Minus 2 minus 2. X equals negative 2. Now these are my solutions. However, look up please. Did we only solve a quadratic equation? No, this is a combination of how many? 2. So when you get to this point, look up. Open a parentheses for both. This is the x value for my first solution, and this one is my x value for my second solution. So, oh my, I need a y value for each of those. What shall I do? Remind your neighbor. What shall I do at the end to get a y value for each of those? Yeah, substitute into one of the two equations. Which one would be the easiest one, people? Yeah, the top one. So bring this one down, draw an arrow, and write it twice. Y equals 4x plus 4, and y equals 4x plus 4. And then we substitute our first value, negative 1, in here. Bring everything else down. And let's solve. Let's see. Y equals 4 times negative 4. Negative 1 is negative 4 plus 4. So y equals 0. do the same for the second value, which is negative 2. Bring everything else down. Y equals 4 plus 4. So we end up with y equals negative 8 plus 4. Y equals negative 4. And these are my solutions. Now let's remind your neighbor, what does this mean in regards to a system of equations? What are these two right here? Tell your neighbor, what does that mean? Then Martin's going to enlighten us. What are these two, Martin? Very good. He said intersection of both graphs. Now look up, just so that you have it in as a visual. This top one is a linear, so it looks like this. This bottom one is a parabola. It looks like this. So this point and this point right here and right here are here and there. That's what it is. Ooh-wee. You're like, oh snap, I think I need to study this one. Yeah, it's just, revisiting. How we doing so far? Yeah? Is it coming back? All right, go to the next one. Number 6. Let's go. Solve the system, a 3D system. Now, some of you skipped this one on your notes, which is fine. So you can either write on your study guide for this one, because I'm going to give you another study guide over the weekend, which is a blank one, so you can practice again. All right? So when you get to this one, here we go. You're going to need 3 different colors. You guys remember these? Yes? So I'm going to start at the top with green. Then I'm going to go with red or pink. And then the last one is going to be blue. So, let's look at it and ask the question. I need to eliminate one of the variables first. Let's see. Can we eliminate the x's right now? No. How about the y's? No. How about the z's? No. Okay. So you need to make a decision. Which one do you want to eliminate? Look at the first one on the x. If I wanted to eliminate this 2x right here, what does this x have to be? A negative 2, is that correct? However, if I wanted to eliminate this negative 3 here, what does this x need to be? A 3. So I'm going to use this pink one for the green one and for the blue one, so we're going to write that one twice. So here we go. So I'm going to put the red one or the pink one here and here. Then I'm going to do the green one above the pink one and the blue one above the other pink one. All right, so let's write them out. The green one, we got 2x. Whoa. Hold on. Let me write it out. 2x plus 3y plus z equals 27. The pink one is x plus 5y minus 3z equals 52. I'm going to write the pink one again since it's the same, plus 5y minus 3z equals 52. And the blue one is negative 3x plus y minus plus 2z equals negative 16. All right? So, When you get to these guys, very important, make sure when you're copying the equations on the side that you copy everything the same. Because one little mistake, who remembers when we got to these? Yeah, a little mistake you make and everything's thrown off. So make sure you copy it correctly. Double check. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to go with this one. So to eliminate x, look up to the screen. Look up. I have positive 2x. This one needs to be what? Negative 2x. So I'm going to multiply this bottom one times negative 2. So distribute, 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 distribute. So that becomes negative 2x, negative 10y, positive 6z, and negative 104. All right? So double check. Negative 2 times x, negative 2 times 5, negative 2 times 3, and negative 2 times 52, 104. Okay? So go like this and look up. Put the wiggles on the one in the middle, this one. We're not going to use this one anymore once you distribute. So here we go. What is 2x? Oh, my goodness. Here we go. What is 2x minus 2x? 0, they cancel, okay. What is 3y minus 10y? Negative 7y. What is 6z and 1z? 7z. And what is negative 104 and positive 27? That's 70, negative 77? Yes? Did I get my numbers right? Yes, I think you. All right, good. So, let's go. Can I simplify this anymore? No, I'll leave it like that. So let's go to this one. Look up, please. I'm going to switch to red. So, to cancel the x's, what do I need to multiply this bottom one by? 3, yeah, the whole thing. So distribute the 3 here, 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 and here. So this becomes 3x plus 15y minus 9z equals 156. Double check your work. 3 times x, 3 times 5, 3 times negative 3, and 3 times 52. All right. So once we distribute, put the wiggles on the one in the middle so that you don't use that one anymore. So here we go. What is negative 3x and positive 3x? 0, they cancel. Combine. 1y and 15y is 16y. Next, 2z and negative 9z is negative 7z. And then we got 156 minus 16, that is 140. Can we simplify this one anymore? Nope. Okay. So, now we end up with 2 equations. What did we do from there? Oh, I remember, Mr. Q, we made it into a system. Negative 7y plus 7z equals negative 77. Once again, make sure you're copying everything correctly as you go along, because this is another place where some of you make mistakes. 16y minus 7z equals 140. All right? Look at it. Can we eliminate anything here in this little system? The z, yes. 7z minus 7z is 0. Combine the y's. What is 16 minus 7? 9y. 140 minus 77, that's 63. Double check my math. Is it? All right. And then at the end we divide by 9, so y equals 7. Are we there so far? However, look up guys, we started with a big system. I'm scrolling up really quick. We made them into smaller equations and we end up with a small system here. So this small system, I already have the y. What do I need to solve for now here? For what? The z. So which one do you want to use, the top one or the bottom one? All right, Kimberly says the top one, so let's use the top one. So let's write, bring this one down, negative 7y plus 7z equals negative 77. And instead of y, we're going to substitute 7, which is right here. Bring everything else down. Negative 7 plus 7z equals negative 77. So, what is negative 7 times 7? Negative 49 plus 7z equals negative 77. I need to leave z by itself. What do I do next? Danny? Yeah, add 49 to each side. We end up with 7z equals 2. 49 and negative 77, that should be negative 28. Is that correct? Double check your math to make sure it's right. And last but not least, what do we do at the end? Divide by 7. So z equals negative 4. Woo-wee. So, over here on the side, I want you to open up a big parenthesis. We need an x, we need a y, and we need a z value. What do we have already? We have a 7 for the y. We have a negative 4 for the z. And now what do we need to find, everyone? Yeah, the x. So, look up. Let's go back to the beginning. Tell your neighbor which one you're going to use out of these three to substitute those two values. Let's see. Ryan, which one do we use? Green, pink, or blue? Green. All right. So bring down the green. We got 2x plus 3y plus z equals 27. I'm going to bring down the 2x plus 3, open parentheses for y, and open parentheses for z, 27. Z is negative 4. Y is 7. And then we simplify and solve for x. Here we go. 2x, 3 times 7 is 21, plus negative 4 equals 27. Let me scoot up a little bit. Can I combine stuff? Yeah, what is 21 minus 4? 17, yes? Bring down the 2x. Bring down 27. What else? Minus 17, 2x equals 10. Divide by 2, x equals 5. And this is my solution. Woo-wee. Ryan is like, Mr. Q, give us 2 of these. Let's go. Let me send you the screen so you can send me your notes. Let me zoom out so you guys can see the entire Picasso. Look at that. How beautiful that looks. Get it? Picasso. Man, imagine that on a shirt. Pretty good, right? right? $10. It'll fly off the shelves. Let's go. All right, let's go to the next one. Solve the system by graphing. So this one you can write on your study guide. That's fine. So we can use the coordinate plane in there. I'm going to zoom in. Here we go. And I made these as doable as possible so that you guys can follow along. Here we go. So let's use red for the linear, this one. So we're going to graph that one. So right away, we circle the constant, which is positive 5, and you plot your point on the y-axis at positive 5. You good over there, Jacob? Yeah, all right. All right, there's positive 5. And then we need a slope. What is our slope, everyone? 2. We put that over a fraction, that 2 over 1. That means 2 steps up, 1 to the right. So let's do that. 2 steps up, 1 to the right. Plot your point. Do it again. 2 steps up, 1 to the right. Plot your point. Do it again. Now, to go the opposite direction, if we start at 5, 2 steps down and 1 to the left. Make sure you extend it as much as possible. 2 steps down, 1 to the left. 2 steps down, 1 to the left. 2 steps down, 1 to the left. Keep going all the way till you run out of graph. 2 steps down, 1 to the left. And then just sketch your line. And do that in red. There it is. Okay. Pretty straightforward, yes? All right. So here's the one that some of you kind of forgot. Look up, please. Look at the second equation. We're going to graph that one in blue. This one in blue. But before we graph that in blue, I want you to remind your neighbor, what would be the parent function of this one? Parent function of that one. See if they remember. F of x equals what? F of x equals x squared. So let's graph the parent function first. So we're going to graph this one first and see if you remember -2, 4, -1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 4. Now, why those points, Mr. Cube? Because those are the 5 points that we usually use. All right. Now, with that said, don't even graph your parabola. We just need those points. Tell your neighbor where those points are going to be moved according to that. Where are those points going to be moved? Ooh-wee. Where do we move those points, Courtney Jean? Oh, to the left, 3, and down 4. That is correct. Or in other words, look up, guys. What is my new vertex? Instead of 0, 0, my new vertex is going to be what? -3, -4. So this one right here is going to go to -3, -4. And then you just move the other points to match those here. So 1 here, 1 here. 1 there. 1 here. Look up, guys, really quick. So here we go. So we go from left to right. Took a little curve here, but it's going to go through here. So, with that said, I want you to point to the solutions and tell your neighbor, why are those the solutions? What are the solutions? See if they remember. The solutions are with both graphs intersect. So put a big green one here and another big green one right here. Point to them. Solutions. So let's see, what are my coordinates? This one over here we said is -4, -3, -4, -3. How about this one? This one is 0, 5. So, let me zoom out. Answer, letter D. How we doing? Good? All right. Woo-wee. Number 8. It says, write the function that transform f of x. Let me write it out. Look up, please. Do the same. F of x equals x cubed. And they want us to transform it. So, underneath, I'm going to write g of x, and then I'm going to write parentheses x with a cube. So, question. They want us to go vertical stretch of 2. Is that A or is that B? A, it goes in the front. So 2 is vertical. There you go. Shift 4 units to the left. What do I need to write here for 4 units to the left? +4. That is correct. And then 3 units down. What do I write at the end? -3. Answer for this one. Let's see. Correct answer is D. All right, I'm going to stop right there. For home play, try to do some more from the study guide and bring back some questions. If you have questions tomorrow, we're going to finish up the study guide tomorrow. I'll stop the video right there. Have a good one, guys. See you guys tomorrow. Bye.